Welcome back to Rev It Up Bowling. My name is Jason Robars, and today we have a ball review for you. We're going to be reviewing the new Hammer Anger Solid. This is the second iteration of the Anger line. The first being a pearl cover stock, with this one now being wrapped in a solid cover stock. What I expect from this bowling ball is to be more smooth than the original Anger. Now, the original Anger for me was my go-to burn ball. Honestly, one of the best burn balls I've ever thrown, mostly being it had a very, very clean pearl cover stock, and the biggest thing is having a very high RG, which this ball does. We'll get more into that at the end of the video. But what we're gonna do today is get an idea on what this ball does, where it fits in your bag, what oil conditions it might need, and we're gonna be playing up first, second, third, fourth arrow on our modified house shot. Now, this house shot is still a high ratio, just more volume for me to throw bigger bowling balls, stuff like that, than a typical house shot. So we're gonna get some shots on the lanes, give you guys an idea on what this does, and we'll go from there. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, Anger Solid. What we're gonna do is throw some shots up 5. Honestly, I could see this ball work on this particular shot up the board, but we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot. Like I mentioned before, the original Anger was one of my absolute go-to burn balls. It was complemented beforehand, usually by the Sneak Attack Solid, or even something with more cover stock than the original Anger. I'm hoping that this can be a nice complement going from one to the other. Now, this does come out of box with a nice 2000 on it. Decent amount of surface, I will say. Maybe with some surface tweaks, I could make them even more complement of each other, but for the most part, I'm hoping that this is like my lower volume benchmark ball. So we're gonna throw it up 5, see what it does. Hopefully it's gonna be smoother. Like I mentioned, a little benchmark, lower volume type of ball. Yeah, that was to be expected. I thought it would work out there. Still being a smaller core, now it still has a .04 differential, which definitely puts in the medium to high flare potential. Now, one thing about this ball, for me, I love this core more particular, is it does have a very high RG. Now, being more rev dominant like myself, I like to see length without having to try to produce it, just throw default and just let it rip. What we're gonna be doing on this shot is playing the same line. I wanna see where it hooks down lane at like what foot. Again, high RG, so it will get down lane more than a lot of other solids. All right, not bad. What I like so far is it doesn't hook a ridiculous amount, and it didn't just check, it's still smooth. So I like that ball motion so far. Keep playing around with it. All right, we're gonna go ahead and throw another one right where I just was. Perfect. All right, so I really like that shot right now where there is some friction on the right and it can blend. I'm afraid if it does see too much volume, it might get a little too long, or with this particular ball, maybe either lazy down lane or it might duck hook, but I would have to say it's probably gonna get lazy, but we'll see. What I was hoping for, again, it saw friction and it rolled through it. What I expect with this type of bowling ball. Now, I mentioned before with the original Anger, it has a very high RG. This is one of the highest RGs on the market when it comes to a higher performance bowling ball. You know, your tropicals, even your raws, like they have higher RGs, your lower end entry level balls. But when you get to a higher end ball like this one, it is less common to see those high RGs. With this being a 2.60 in a 14 and a 2.56 in a 15. So it does have a very high RG. For those more rev dominant players, or maybe there's a lot of friction at your given house, even on your house pattern, if they're older lanes or something like that, you can throw a ball like this and it will give you that length that the lane is trying to fight away from you. You know, if you're throwing a big old ball, and even if you are trying to get it down lane, well, you got a lane trying to make it hook early, now you get the ball trying to hook early. When the lane has too much friction, especially in the heads, I feel like you can grab something like the Anger Solid and be able to clear the heads, but still produce a smooth ball roll, because it does require some friction, but it's not the most outrageous thing in the world when it comes to seeing the lane and trying to roll out or anything like that. This should still be able to get through the fronts pretty well, see the mid lane, and be very rolly off the back. Now, this is a symmetric. You'll still see that final continuation part on the back end. It won't be an asim where they like to roll forward, but in general, I can imagine this bowling ball be better on those high friction houses, whereas maybe you're used to throwing a hammerhead or a stealth mode maybe, and you're like, you know, that's the ball motion I want, is when I watch these guys throw these bowling balls, but my house doesn't account for it, or maybe my game doesn't account for it. You can match up your ball with your style of lane if there is a lot of friction with something like this. So on these particular lanes, There's not a lot of friction when it comes to the heads and the mids. When we put long patterns out, you'll see it a lot more on these particular lanes. But in general, what we're gonna be looking for with this anger is to clear more of the natural friction in the heads. If you're at a bowling alley like that, or if you're more rev dominant like me, where things like to spin up earlier, the higher RG will definitely help with that. So let's go to second arrow. For the most part, try to play straighter up, get it out, but. Nice. Yeah, I can definitely see some length in this ball. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a burn, skid, flippy ball. It's still moderately smooth, mid-laney with continuation. One thing you guys should really pay attention to when you're trying to pick bowling balls out is how do they finish on the back end? Are they symmetric and they like to continue? Or are they an asim and like to roll more forward? How do they hook in the mid lane? Are they quicker or are they slower? That's like the stuff that you guys want to pay attention to when you're watching ball reviews like this. All right, so second arrow. We're gonna go into third. We're gonna bump it, our break point out. Well, keep it the same, but we're gonna create bigger angles because we're further left. Ah, okay. Yeah, I think we're getting to the middle part of the lane where there's just a lot of oil. I could definitely see on that particular shot, my angle's a little too wide early. Still was in the oil too much and the ball was never able to set up. Let's go ahead and try to make the same shot from the same area and see if we can tweak it to make it work. I'm just gonna move my break point in a teensy bit. We're gonna check, see how much hold it has. Better, better. I can definitely see if this ball doesn't see that 30 to 40 feet, at least, you know, start its precession, is what Bowl U calls it. Basically going from a lot of rotation to forward, which is balanced, which is no rotation. That's called precession. You definitely want to see the ball start precessing or start changing its axis rotation by 30 feet, 35 feet, at least on this pattern. If I don't see it, then it does what that last shot did, which was get past the break point and never make it back. We're gonna go ahead, move further left. We're gonna try to play, you know, 17, 18, 19, somewhere around there. I should probably be more accurate than that, but you know. Oh, that doesn't make me angry at all. They need to release a ball called the Happy. Like maybe at that point, I won't get as mad bowling. Although if I saw that smiley face plastic ball everyone's seen, that yellow one, I'd probably get angry every time I look at it. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna slow the ball down. We're gonna tweak it. I just need to see it, that shadow down lane. I need to see that ball process before that. If it doesn't, I don't think it's making it back. Yeah, I threw it just right. Let me go ahead and do that again. I will say I like the fact that this isn't natural for this ball. It's not meant to cover the boards, at least on this fresh shot, don't get me wrong. On a, you know, more burnt up shot, game 2, game 3 league, or if it's a tournament, you can definitely play left and right. Right now there's a little too much oil to just throw it naturally. We're gonna slow it down. We kept it inside and slowed it down. One thing I am noticing about this ball is a lot of times if you throw too weak of a ball, meaning it requires more friction than what you're throwing it on, two things can happen. You can get it to not hook, like generally what we've seen so far today, or we get it to see a duck hook, where it doesn't get far enough down lane before it's used all of its energy up, it processes and goes left, and that's when we get that runaway Brooklyn. So far, I'm seeing this ball more just roll out. Even with that last shot, it was in, but it held the shot out, or it held the pocket. It didn't jump. It still was smooth. All right, so what we're gonna do on this next shot is I'm gonna get deeper. Now, I don't plan on staying here. I wanna throw more shots up the lanes, what I would expect this ball to be on this particular pattern, but we're gonna move left more, try to slow it down, wheel it, see what happens. Man, it carries the 3/6 pocket almost pretty well. Even with me trying to tweak it, now I could do more to make it hook. I don't really want to, it's not the purpose of it. We're gonna move further back right. We're gonna play around first, second, third arrow mostly, and just see what angles it gives us. All right, this one's gonna be around first, second, up the boards. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm already really confident in this. Like, I just threw that shot and I was like, okay, that's a strike. I knew it by 30 feet because I saw it start processing in that mid lane. You start seeing that mid lane. Now, when we were pretty far left, as most of you know, oil is concentrated in the middle part of the lane on most shots, unless it's flat or really a sports shot. But this being a house shot, there's a lot of oil in that middle part. When I was in that middle part of the lane playing deep, it just didn't see enough friction. It just had too much energy when it got to the end of the lane, and there's no way to release it. It just rolled straight. When I move right, I move into more friction. That's when balls like this require, that's why there's low, medium, and high volume bowling balls, more friction. When I can move right, it creates a smooth, controllable shape, because that's what's required of the ball. All right, let's go ahead and throw another one. Move further right. Not too bad, a little pulley. Ace, I think I'm gonna like this ball a decent amount, I think I've been looking for a sneak attack solid replacement. Now I've drilled 3 of them, don't get me wrong, and I haven't nibbed one. I'm probably gonna still try to throw it, but I'm glad that Brunswick noticed that, wow, that sneak attack was actually a really solid bowling ball. What else can we make like it? Now, are they the exact same between this and the sneak attack solid? No, but I'd probably say so far that's the closest comparison I have. Let's go and throw the same shot. We're just gonna speed it up. Nice, good shot. All right, the category I put this ball under. Whenever I categorize bowling balls, response time. A lot of companies use this, and I think it's very smart to use this because every lane's different. You can't use lane conditions because the lane beds are different, all that sort of stuff. There's so many variables to ball motion. One thing that is consistent is volume of oil, and another way is friction. How much friction does it require? And then response time, how quickly would it respond off that? This ball in particular, I'm seeing be a lower to medium volume ball. We can see that by playing deep, it definitely struggled to try to make a corner, but when you get right, it created a smooth shape, it read in the right parts of the lane. It does require that friction. So this is a low to medium friction bowling ball, or oil, low to medium oil volume bowling ball, with a slow to semi-medium response time. If you're looking for to set your arsenal up, you got your big ASIM solid, your most volume, slowest response. And then you got your ASIM Pearl, which is most volume, quickest response. Those complement each other pretty well. Now, obviously Sims, ASIMs, you can get into that. But when you're looking at this particular bowling ball, you're gonna be looking to complement a lower requirement of oil bowling balls. So again, the sneak attack, you can talk about the Turbo X, you can talk about the new Vibe, those are all medium to lower volume types of bowling balls. This definitely fits that category, but it does have a relatively slow response time. What I like about it is we're always looking for smoother ball motion. Well, when I get on more friction with my particular DNA, with my bowling game, when there's more friction, things get more squirrely because my hand is so heavy. Now, don't get me wrong, I can tweak it and all that stuff, but if I'm trying to just throw default or reasonably close to comfortable, having the ball to help me does a lot. So for this particular ball, I can get in with it, I think, depending on the surface changes. I can play up the boards with it. It's gonna be one of those more versatile balls, just like the sneak attack, where if there's too much friction, probably not gonna be great. If there's too much oil, probably not gonna be great. But definitely during that transitional period in a tournament, or if you're bowling at a house that generally has more friction, yeah, I think that ball could definitely be a benchmark ball for you, or a complement to that benchmark ball. Throw a couple more. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, what we're gonna do for the next 3 or 4 shots is I'm just gonna play around. I'll try to talk a little bit about what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna be testing the ball, give you guys different angles on the camera to see what it does, give you a better idea on if you wanna purchase this ball or not. Where I just was, I moved a little left. I threw a little harder and the ball got behind the head pin, so it didn't see that mid lane. So what I wanna do is I rang 10, move left, and then I was able to carry the pocket. So what I'm gonna do this time is actually move right, and I wanna see what it does in even more friction, if it's gonna check or if it's gonna roll out, leave a 10 pin. If it looks good, then it looks good. We'll see what happens. We're gonna move back towards the second arrow, just right of it. I'm gonna pick speed up in the more amount of friction. We'll see what this looks like. A little wrap 10. All right, I think I can slow down just a teensy bit. The ball definitely got behind the head pin. I think we might start seeing carry down now. So let's go ahead. We're gonna slow it down a pinch, same spot. Now, if this slows down and duck hooks and goes high, then I know I'm not in the right part of the lane, or right ball, but right part of the lane for this. Oh, I threw it right. Oh, it almost came back. Not a great shot, not a great shot. Let's go and do that again. All right, so we're just gonna slow it down somewhere between first and second arrow. Try to get it to 5 down lane at most. I hit up on it, but I still think that's what's gonna happen if I slow it down. Just sees too much friction. That tells me I'm probably too far right. I'm gonna move left more, where we were when we struck. It all makes sense. All right, we were around 11, 12 when we did strike a couple shots ago. I don't really wanna get it right. I think it's struggling to come back up the hill. We're gonna try to get the ball going up the lane more. Oh, that wasn't a good shot, but good result. Yeah, baby. Yeah, that was good. It wasn't not posted, but it's okay. From what I saw I found too much friction right. We played left and we obviously saw what that did. It just didn't want to hook. Right now it seems like second, third era on this particular shot, it's working pretty well. Opening my angles up right now, probably not the best plan, but I have to have them open at least. I'm curious though, if I do speed it up where I am and not throw it right, it will still read in the right part of the lane. Problem is, I think I'm getting on top of that cliff. So if I get it in and slow and don't throw it fast enough, it's gonna hook. I'm afraid if I throw it fast enough and get it right, it's just not gonna come back. Let's go ahead and test that theory. Again, we're gonna be trying around 12, 11 at the arrows. We're gonna speed it up and see if it still creates the ball motion I want, let alone just strike. Better, decent ball motion. The speed, I just struck perfectly and I sped it up and then went light. Obviously, that makes sense. I just wanted to see what it would do if it was still trying to read the lane or if it's just gonna skid a lot. It still read the lane, but I still struck. That was good. All right, let's throw one more. I do want to try to open the lane up as it breaks down. We're gonna move left a teensy bit. We're gonna try to get the ball out to 7 down lane, probably around that second tracer. We're gonna try to hit, 15, 16. Very nice. So I did have to slow it down, as you saw, quite a bit, but now you can start seeing there's enough friction for it to make that corner. So we're gonna throw one more to end the video. I'm gonna go ahead and just try to throw a good shot where I'm comfortable with, and we'll go from there. But if you guys have any questions about this bowling ball or other bowling balls like it, just leave a comment. We'll definitely get to them as quickly as we can. Like I said, some of the comparisons are, I mentioned before, Turbo S, Sneak Attack Solid. You could even go with like a weaker Sensor Solid, that orange one. That has stronger cover stock than this one in my opinion. But this does have the infamous core in it with the Semtex cover stock. So the Semtex is still relatively strong. All right, we're gonna play where I'm comfortable with. We're gonna go move right, pick up the speed just off that last shot. Beautiful. Yeah, that was a good one to end on. That was a review of the new Hammer Anger Solid. If you guys want to pick one up today, they are out. Hop online, go to your local pro shop and pick one up. I think this is gonna be one of my staples in my bag. I'm definitely gonna be putting some games on it. There's definitely certain balls I drill where, they don't fit my game as well, so I won't throw them as much. This one, I can already tell I'm gonna be getting some games on it. It's gonna be going to a lot of the bowling alleys around Alaska, higher friction houses, where balls like the Hammerhead, especially like the Stealth Mode, are just too much cover stock, out of box, maybe too much surface, but on higher friction lanes, I think this ball is gonna be such a good go-to when it starts breaking down. When you still need to blend the lane out where there's still some volume, it's not burnt yet, but definitely more in that transition. So please remember to smash that like button and leave us a comment. We are always interested in what you guys are thinking, what you love about bowling, what you dislike about bowling, and what you want to see different on the channel. Please leave a comment and let us know what you guys think. And if we need to do something different, or if you love it, give us a thumbs up. With that said, my name is Jason Robarge. This is Rev It Up Bowling. Much love, peace.